We welcome you to the Priscilla R. Tyson Cultural Arts Center for our conversations and coffee on this 24th day of April, 2025. I'm Ellen O'Shaughnessy, coordinator of the program. We welcome you, but he's coming soon. MK Lebeaux. Beau is a French word for beauty. You call us MK, who's around the corner, to the beauty and art of fun, joy. As a circus performer in juggling, mime, clowning, and more. And we are grateful for MK's being with us today. He has a 5-star rated solo show that speaks for itself. MK's unique physical comedy has been featured everywhere, from television, on the street, under canvas, in theaters, and at festivals, including appearing at the 2024 International Border Light Theater Festival, where MK's physical comedy performed their show Goes Without Saying, and had an honor of showcasing their act at the festival's gala ceremony. MK has also appeared in the ensembles in the theater as the featured clown in the sold-out and groundbreaking production of A Magic Flute Experience, The Temple by Opera Columbus, and The People's Circus, directed by Allegra Libonati and Q. Jones. This production was an immersive, circus-themed 21st century revamp of Mozart's final opera, where MK appeared in numerous scenes and performed several circus acts, including their signature routine involving the delicate balance of the egg 13 feet in the air. MK also reprised his act in the Opera Columbus season opener, The Threepenny Opera, at the Great Southern Theater, downtown Columbus. MK was named one of the 2023 top 10 artistic performers in Columbus Underground, and in 2024, recipient of the individual funds for artist grants from the Greater Columbus Arts Council. MK's involvement in the local Columbus community ranges from pop-up appearances at local events to producing and organizing the monthly variety show $2 Soup. Mishmash $2 Soup has been hosted at local independent book publisher $2 Radio since 2022. This monthly event showcases the best and upcoming variety acts and also doubles as a food drive that donates non-perishable items to the Mid-Ohio Food Collective. To date, the show's been able to provide 450 pounds of non-perishable items through donations made by the community. Recently, MK was featured at the Pittsburgh Fringe Festival in Brooklyn, New York, with the Bridal Stiff Family Circus, and was on a multi-city tour with Curtis Eller, and he received a grant, another grant, from the Greater Columbus Arts Council. We are so grateful to you, MK, for giving your gifts that bring us to life and joy. And as you and I shared, around the corner there, your presence to us is a great way to celebrate the life and joy and fun of Pope Francis. Y'all come.
We got a package for MK Lebeaux.
All right, how's it going, everybody?
Let's hear it one more time for MK Lebeaux.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. We're just going to do some stuff for you while MK gets changed. But like she said, my name's David.
My name's Braden.
Together, we are David and Braden. David and Braden. Anyway, I'm David.
I'm Braden.
We are David and Braden, and we're magicians. And we're going to do a little bit of magic for you today. We work together as a duo, as you can tell. And the hardest part about working together as a magic duo is a lot of tricks are made for one person. Like a card trick, for example. There's a card selected, usually, and a card found. So we found we have to split things up. So Braden's going to have a card picked. I'm going to find it for you. So I'll hand it over to Braden here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, can we hold this over a second? I'm going to have someone pick a card. Ellen, would you mind coming up and picking a card? Awesome. Let's give a round of applause for Ellen. Awesome. Great. You can come right here.
All right.
Perfect. Again, you can see this is a normal deck of cards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to take out any one you like. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna have you sign your name across the card. This way we can't have a duplicate of the card or anything like that. Let you do that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now here's the deal. We're going to lose the card and David is going to try to find it. Okay? Perfect. So we'll just put it right back in the middle. Now, Ellen, do you play cards? A little bit? What game do you play?
I really haven't played in a long time, but I used to love to play canasta.
Canasta. 2 decks. Very nice. So you can shuffle cards.
Oh.
So at least you can try.
right.
Okay, take the cards, and I want you to go back to your seat. We'll get those back from you in a second.
Okay.
David, take a seat somewhere in the center of the stage.
Okay.
I have some tape for you. Just cut me off a piece of tape.
Okay.
And I'll also need your hat.
My hat.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Just
For
work
the-
on that piece of tape.
Okay, here, there we go. Hold the mic with my knees. The tape. All right, what's the tape for
It's
anyway?
for the foil.
For the what?
One more time. Do you have that piece of tape? Just like that. Let's shape you up a little bit. Chin up. Okay. Now you don't have much of a face. We need to find. Close your eyes. There we go. Also, I'm going to give you a pair of glasses just so. There you are. Here are your glasses. I'm going to get another piece of tape. Just hold those. Yeah. Nice mustache, by the way. There we go. That should do the trick. Now, Ellen, do you have the cards? Here's what's going to happen. David is going to start dealing through the cards, and at some point, he is going to get the feeling to stop. Okay. So, David, take the cards. Okay. David's going to start dealing, and Ellen, I want you to just say stop whenever you. Go ahead, Ellen. Anytime while he's dealing. Yep.
When I see my card, I say stop.
Just whenever you feel like saying stop.
Oh. Whenever you want. All right. How's that?
Right there.
Stop.
Stop, David. Stop. And Ellen, your card, the 8 of diamonds. Did you sign it? Not sign it earlier? David, we have a problem. It didn't work. Okay.
Never met
we
him.
did. What?
Never. Never.
You want your magic wand? Okay. Sure. So if I set this over here. Okay. Here you are. Firmly grasp it. Now, David's going to hit the top of the deck with the wand, and Ellen, your card will appear right on top. Here we go.
All right.
Careful. And Ellen, your card, the Ace of Spades.
Nope.
Go, give me the cards. E-L-L-E-N.
That's right.
Okay, there we go. David's going to hit the top of the deck with the wand, and Ellen's card will appear right on top. David, go ahead. Mm-hmm. And Ellen, your card, the 3 of diamonds, it was a diamond, right?
It was a diamond, but not the 3.
David, give me the wand. Okay, here, new plan. We haven't said what the card is out loud. So just think. So just say the card in your mind, and David is going to read your. David is going to read your mind. So just say the card and you do. Stop it! Okay. So you have the card in your mind.
Yes.
David, go ahead, read Ellen's mind.
We'll do that now.
All right, you know what the card is? You have the card? Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead and tell everyone Ellen's card. What do you mean you don't know what it is? I think I see the problem. You can't read minds with tinfoil around your head. We've all seen movies. David, take off the tinfoil.
Oh, that is so wet. It glows Ellen?
Yep.
With the Queen of Diamonds?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. David.
Oh, thank you for going through that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Get these out a little bit. Don't worry, we'll sweep them up.
Hello, thanks for coming. Round of applause for David and Braden. That's a really fun act. Grab my coffee for the conversations. Thank you for coming. Not only is it a pleasure to be here today in front of you, but it's a pleasure to be here at the Cultural Arts Center. For clowning to be here is a good step up for us because we've been ignored for a long time, and so to be represented here is really cool. So I have a few slides. We will start with a quote from E.B. White. E.B. White was the author of Charlotte's Web and among other things, but they had a really interesting quote about humor. Since we're talking about clowning, we'll talk about humor. And they said, analyzing humor is like dissecting a frog. Few people are interested and the frog dies of it. Hopefully by the end of this, it doesn't feel like that. But it can feel like that at times. Now, when you think of clown, there's actually two ways to look at clown: as a noun, a clown, and as a verb, to clown. And so when people hear the word clown, they typically think of something like this. Somebody with a red nose. We have Lou Jacobs, Orion the Amazing, Ronald McDonald. Those are the types of clowns that you kind of think of when you hear clown. But it doesn't have to be this. And I wear a little bit of makeup, but these are also clowns. We've got people like Mr. Bean, Buster Keaton, Lucille Ball. And they're just as funny as the other guys, even though they don't wear makeup. He's at least as funny as Ronald McDonald. That's a friend of mine. I think I can make fun of him a little bit. But these are clowns as well. And it's not about what they look like. It's about what they did. Like Lucille, Lucille couldn't keep up with the conveyor belt. And so that's where the comedy comes in. So it's not about what you look like or what you wear. It's about what you do. And I wasn't born a clown. I didn't start clowning. I actually started as a sleight of hand magician. I was doing a little bit of magic here tonight, but that's how I started, was with magic. Here's a little logo that I used to have. It kind of looks like me without glasses and a crystal ball. But this was what I was doing a little bit before clowning, and this was, I was about their age when I first got interested in magic. And up until 2018, that's kind of what consumed my life. I did coin magic predominantly, and so sleight of hand with coins, and I did some card magic. And I have some photos of what that looked like. So here's me at a couple different places. Shrunken Head on the right, it's a place that doesn't exist anymore, but that was over in like Victorian Village area. And then this is me at P3 Magic Theater. And this was pre-pandemic, like 2018 was when I kind of decided to make this journey over into clowning. And the realization that I had was that comedy and magic are not that unrelated. So if you had somebody sitting in this chair and you threw a cloth over them and then you ripped it off and they disappeared, that's a pretty astounding magic trick, right? Now, if there was like a table sitting here and I went to go sit in the chair and then I fell below the desk and then you couldn't see me, the end result is the same. The chair is empty. There's no person sitting in the chair. But how you got there, it's the same kind of math, but you just get there in a different way. And so it was like, okay, how could I use my magic knowledge to create comedy? And so I didn't set out to be a clown. I just that's just where it kind of went. And then also the the silent aspect of it wasn't something I set out to do. A lot of these choices were just this is what feels right. I have a little bit of cheek makeup and lip makeup. That's not how it started. I started back like one of these performers. I didn't wear any. I was like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be like this. I'm just gonna be funny and not look funny. And then I added makeup to look more like these guys. So we'll go down to the next slide. And so here's a really interesting thing. So last month, I actually got the opportunity to go to Brooklyn to perform. And here's me in March in Brooklyn. And here's me in 2013 in the same exact intersection. So this was me in Brooklyn. I was doing some sleight of hand coin magic in 2013. And then just last month, I was like a 10-minute walk from the same intersection. And I was so happy that I got this updated photo because it shows I didn't set out to be a clown. There was something before it, and you had to have the process of getting from here to there. I'm glad that I have this to kind of represent that, and to show that there was kind of like a process to it that wasn't so clear and direct. I didn't know what I was doing back then. I still don't really know what I'm doing now, but I'm glad that I have this. And when I was in, wrong direction. When I was in Brooklyn, I did just last month, I did a particular act. And this act is very dear to me because it's a signature piece of mine. It's where I balance an egg 13 feet in the air. Now, coming up with this idea, I had a lot of trials, a lot of errors, kind of like this image. This is actually by a guy named Steven Schmitz. And I think it illustrates kind of what we do, especially as jugglers. I didn't do much juggling today, but as jugglers, this is what the process looks like. You're really bad for a long time, but as you get closer, now you're show ready. But the audience never gets to see this, but there's always some process. And my process started with this guy named Salerno. So there's some big figures in juggling. Cincavale is one of them, but Salerno is also one of them. And he has all these pool cues and canes that he would balance on his head. In this particular illustration, there's actually two pool cues, but we'll refer to it as one. He has this tall stick, and then he had a modified pistol that he shot up and it landed on top of this. Really interesting trick. When I saw it, I didn't realize that's what was happening. I thought it was falling. And so that got my brain kind of going, okay, how could I do something like this? And I had an egg routine. And then I thought about, what if that's what was up there was an egg? And so began the process of trying to be like Salerno. And here are some images of that. So I have this long red stick, and there's an egg sat on top. And it went through, these sticks are all different. They were all different heights, different thicknesses, made of different materials. And I had to figure out not only how to balance the stick on my head, it's a double balance because you're also balancing the egg on top. And so it's kind of precarious. But it went through this process of I tried, and then about a year of trying this trick of just getting it to be on my head and then having it fall off and catch it in this little bag. So it's about a year of practicing this routine. And after a year, I debuted it. This was April of 2023. So it was actually April 27th, so almost exactly 2 years ago from today. And so mental note of this unicorn mural, by the way. We'll come back to it. But here's me doing it at $2 Radio. So we have a show there called $2 Soup. And we not only do shows, but this is where we test new ideas. So after about a year, this is where I was testing, will an audience like this? And there's a bit of with the egg, and then this is a bit of just goofy with the egg on my hat. But since 2 years ago, I've been able to do this in a lot of places. This is me. Ellen mentioned me being in the Magic Flute. So this is me debuting this was a year of working on the routine. I debuted it in the Opera Columbus production. And here's another part. I was telling you about the egg routine. This was from another portion of it. And there's multiple eggs. There's a bird cage. I didn't know when I went into that production that it was bird related. And so when I was doing the rehearsals, I actually brought the wine glasses. I was doing that. I did some other stuff. And then at the end, they were like, oh, we got some birds. I got the right routine for this. So I brought this in, worked out perfect. And then a few months later, I did the same routine. This is at Borderlight. This is an international theater festival in Cleveland. And not only was I in the festival, my show was in the festival, but this was at the gala ceremony for the festival, and I debuted this there. And this is just from a few months ago on Groundhog's Day. You can see it says Groundhog Jail. Me and my friends did a Groundhog Day themed, but I was in Pittsburgh at Glitterbox Theater. And so this started as a small idea that I saw on a poster of the guy that had this thing balanced on his head. And through trial and error, I've been able to get it to go to the opera, to international theater festivals, and then me headlining the Glitterbox Theater in Pittsburgh. And then probably one of my most favorite things is how we showed the Brooklyn clip. So when I was here, I actually have a video of what that looked like. And then you have to smash your foot because that's just what you do. So that was just last month when I went back to Brooklyn, and I did that with the Bindlestiff Family Circus, and that was a joy to be able to work with them. But how that comes about, and I told you that unicorn mural, and you can see that's in the background of all of these photos. You might even recognize these guys. You got these two with the foil on their face. But all of those routines and being able to do the opera or to go to Brooklyn or to perform in Pittsburgh, headlining your own show, it starts with rooms and shows like this where you try out new ideas. Some of these performers, one of them has been on ESPN. Another one's a triple gold medalist. We have a Guinness World Record holder, an international best show at an international Fringe festival. We have main stage acts from the Columbus Arts Fest. And they all have to start with these ideas and build them. Like Tony, if you can see, he's balancing a Jenga set. This is Jenga, he's balancing it, and he actually plays it. He'll take blocks out and put it on his head. You have to imagine that playing Jenga regularly is very difficult. And he plays it on his face. This guy's not even looking at anything. And this is actually a $2 soup. So this is the show that we do every month. There's actually a show tonight. If anyone's available tonight, there's a show at 8 p.m. at $2 Radio. But this is where we kind of workshop and we build. When I first became this clown, I didn't have a place to try out stuff. And so we invented a show to get better and to develop. And this was one of those rooms, and this is where the egg routine was developed. And so I don't know how much clowning can relate to other art forms, but one thing that I think will relate is that there's always a process, and that you might fail 100 times before you find the thing that you're good at, or you might be trying to bake your sculpture and your technique's not right or something. And it all starts with these things, and maybe one day you'll be on ESPN or you will be going to Brooklyn.
Anyone have any
yeah,
comment
does
about
anyone have
that? Would you?
or
I love that.
Questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
So what is your favorite to do, the juggling or being just the clown?
Just being funny. That's all I want to do. Yeah. There's sometimes I like the skill-based things where like I'm balancing, or like the wine glasses, the technicalities of that. I do like that, but I just if I can make a room laugh, that's all I really really
And
want to
that's
do.
creativity, making a room laugh.
Yeah, and without saying a word as well. Yeah, so.
You still go on stage and perform?
Yeah. Yeah, we go on stage tonight, and I was actually on tour this past weekend with a banjo player. We went and we played in Cleveland, we played in Pittsburgh. We had a whole bunch of fun.
Do that radio free?
It can be, yeah, if you just show up. She asked if the show is free, and so the way we have it suggested $2, but you don't have to bring $2. You can bring a non-perishable food item, and it's just suggested. So if you want to just come, you can just come as well and enjoy the show. Yes.
I have a question. These are young people ages 8 through 11. Tell us what you were like when you were that age. Were you doing this? Were you learning it?
So yeah, at their age, that was I discovered magic. So a lot of magic TV shows, like David Blaine's first TV show was popular, and he was everywhere. And then I got my first magic book around their age, and so I was doing magic. And then about 14, I was like, I'm really into this. This is what I kind of want to do. But when I was like their age, I was playing sports. I was doing all sorts of things, but I also had, my dad taught me to juggle before I was 10. And so I had this ability and appreciation for the variety arts kind of early on, but I wouldn't say I became a juggler until I was like in my 20s, where I was just like, okay, let's take this a little bit more seriously, you know? And then the magic, that was probably the more important thing to me, is I juggled kind of in the background, but magic was the forefront. And then I just wanted to be funny instead of magical.
Entertain your family and friends.
Every holiday.
Being an artist like you know, what you're doing and creating new ideals, do you sometimes you get this ideal and then you keep working on it, and then you have this moment where it works, and how do you feel?
When it finally works, it feels great. So when like this egg routine, I tried different materials. At first I tried a copper pipe, and then that fell off and it hit my leg and it hurt really bad. So I found different materials and I was like, oh, this one works the best. And then because those sticks are really long, I can't travel with it easily. And I think my bag's out there, but that bag that I had with my name on it, I now have a stick that collapses. It could go inside of that. So when I developed that, it's just like, oh yes, this makes me happy.
So neat how the involvement of the creative ideal comes into your brain, you know?
And a lot of it comes from the necessity. So I don't realize that like, oh, I need to travel with the stick until I run into that problem. And then it's like, oh, I need to solve this.
Then I seen how you had the face paint and all that. And then come back and this and that, and it's like, whoa, this is magic itself.
Sure, yes. So
it's just the whole ideal of you being in the public, talking to the public. It's like a whole art form in itself.
Yeah, so the non-speaking is kind of me doing a bad impression of Emmett Kelly. I don't know if people are familiar with Emmett Kelly from Ringling, but when he got in full makeup, he didn't speak either. And then when he got out of makeup, you couldn't shut him up. And so with the act, it's all, I'm not sure what I'm doing until I kind of get there. And so like the non-speaking, I didn't want to put a voice on. I didn't know, should I perform with this voice? Did I want to make it pitched up or pitched down? I didn't know. So I was like, what if I just eliminate that problem? And so that's how like something like that came into play. It was less of something that I pursued of like, I want to be a silent performer. It actually caused a lot of problems. I had to relearn how to perform because I was so used to speaking. And then there's certain things as magicians, when you talk to people, you're talking to them, but they don't know you're doing something else. I don't have that to my disposal anymore. So I had to kind of relearn and figure some things out. But I think I'm doing good so far. Yeah.
So you said, you start taking it seriously. What does taking seriously be a clown look like?
Being funny is serious business. So it's kind of it's a hard thing because comedy is a very some people are prop comics, some people tell jokes, and so comedy it kind of it depends on who you're speaking with. But for me, I was like, I know how to do these magic tricks, and if I can make these funny, if I can just refine those. So that balloon routine, that was actually in my very first show as this character, and it wasn't like that at first. And so it was analyzing that and being like, oh, how do I make this a better routine? It was just a one balloon. Now there's 3 balloons, you know? And so it's just kind of taking it and then almost like how a quarterback watches game footage to kind of get a better edge on what he's doing. We film, there's cameras set up. We sit down and we watch our show footage and kind of go, oh, do this instead of that. And so it's taking it serious in terms of a craft. Yes.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever juggled? Did you experiment with that, with different kinds of things to juggle? Or did you
I have a routine that I juggle with a shirt. It's probably the most unorthodox object just because shirts are made of fabric. But I would say a shirt's probably the most odd object, yeah. I do it, it's a kind of like not laundry, but there's like a lot of clothing involved and a shirt's one of them. Mm-hmm.
So when you do tricks, are they always your tricks, or is it like you said before, you've seen somebody doing that? Is that how you get your materials, from seeing other people do things?
Sometimes, a lot of the times, like the silk thing that I did in the beginning, that's kind of a classic trick that you see magicians do. They'll put a silk in their hand and it vanishes. This is just kind of a spin on that where I can't get it to vanish. So that's seeing somebody else do that and being like, oh, here's a way that I can kind of play with this. And, I go to shove it in my fist and then it just pops out instead of staying in there and disappearing. And then like the stick, you'll see something and then be like, I like that, but I don't want to shoot a pistol. And then billiard balls are really hard. So if they come down and hit you on the head, that's not good. An egg, it'll make a mess, but it won't hurt you, you know? And so it's saying something and then seeing how it works for you. And the best thing is not knowing what you like. It's what you don't like. It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And then it makes the selection a lot easier for what you want to do.
And how did you guys all get together to do your...
So we met as magicians. I probably met them like 8 to 10 years ago. And so we've just been in the same community performing. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where do you see yourself in a couple of years?
Definitely still doing this. I don't know.
What city would you like to visit?
Well, so I always reference, actually one of my friends that was up here, I was making fun of him. He was down here with the bowling ball. I actually reference his career being one of the paths that I would like to take because he lives locally. He lives on the north side of town, basically. But he'll travel to New York. He'll travel to Atlantic City. He'll travel to Florida. And so I would like to live somewhere around here and then just travel to the shows. I think it'd be a little difficult to constantly live in not to say like it's difficult to live in New York City, but I wouldn't want to live there full time. I would rather live here than travel to New York. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an egg break during the performance?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. Especially early on, eggs would fall off all the time. Yeah, not now. less frequently now.
That one that's up on the top there, that lady, what was her name?
Oh, let me go back. There was a couple. We had Phyllis Diller was up there. So there's Phyllis Diller, that's Mom's Mabley, and then Lucille Ball.
The third one.
Oh, this one? That's Jacques Tati. He's a French comedian from like the...
Third picture you have.
Oh, wait.
From the top of clouds?
This one.
That one right there.
This guy?
No.
The one on the end?
Oh, that's Flippo. Yeah. 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 Here's a local clown legend. Yeah, that's Flippo.
Picture second from the bottom, was that Red Fox?
Red Skelton, yes. Yeah. Yeah, big fan of not only Red, but he also did the character Freddy the Freeloader. I'm very big fan of Freddy. Yeah, this is actually the guy I was talking about. He lives locally. That's the great Kaplan, David Kaplan, and he's probably funnier than all of us will ever be.
Phyllis made it.
Phyllis Diller.
One right there at the top.
This one? Yep. Phyllis Diller. Super funny, huh? That's Rowan Atkinson. That's his character, Mr. Bean. He was popular in England. He was like in the early 90s is when he was on television. But then Buster Keaton actually was on tour this past weekend with a guy. I was opening up for a banjo player, and when he was in New York, he met the great nephew of Buster Keaton and got a family portrait of like the whole family while on his trip. So it was really cool to be able to kind of be like close to these guys and keep the legacy of comedy and physical comedy, especially because it's kind of a dying art. You notice most of these are older photos. There's not many people doing this in the modern. There are a lot of clowns, but it was way more popular.
Do you travel with all these guys, or just a few of them when you do stuff, or none of them?
Sometimes. So I was just traveling with this guy. This is my friend Orion. He lives in Pittsburgh, and so I've done numerous shows with him this year. And so we've traveled. We were doing shows in Pittsburgh and Ford City, and he's actually going to be coming to Cleveland next month.
Flippo was my next door neighbor for years.
Really?
And his daughter was our babysitter.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And then one time we had a parade for something in our neighborhood, and we borrowed his costume.
Oh, that's amazing. That's tremendous. Yeah, this one that he's wearing right there, yeah, that's awesome. The blue, white pom-poms on the blue. Tremendous. I bet you had free shows and laughter all the time, huh?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so if there's any other questions, yes.
When you were in Magic Flip, were you like Papageno, or were you supposed to be doing something like catching the birds in the
It was kind of a re-envisioning of it. So it wasn't like the traditional. I was kind of like a janitor of sorts in this bar. And so one of the things is originally the Magic Flute was written to be performed in a bar. And then it evolved to be in theaters. And so we took it back to a bar setting. It doesn't look like one, but this is in a bar called The Key downtown. It used to be the birth certificate building, if you're familiar with where that's at. So we did this. It's actually, you can't see, but there's a catwalk that's about this tall that's going through the bar. And so we did this through the bar, and I was just a janitor. And Papageno was my boss, and so he ordered me around quite a lot.
That was in Columbus?
Yep. Yep, that was with Opera Columbus. This was in April, and then we did another production in November downtown at the Southern Theater.
Don't just say that you're a janitor or custodian, because we're important.
No, sure. Just in terms of the show, there wasn't much to my role. I came on and that was about it.
Who is the guy that ran Opera Columbus? He used to be at the Symphony.
I'm not sure I know who that is. I know who runs it now is Julia. I'm not sure who ran it before.
That's not who I'm thinking of. I can't remember his name. But he used to be a conductor of the Symphony, and he went to Opera Columbus.
I'm not sure I can think of who that is. Is it Dr. Everett? Is that who you're thinking of?
No.
Okay, then that's the only person that's coming to my mind. But
So can I ask David and Brady, how did you get into what you're doing now?
I'm sorry. You can go first, yeah.
Well, we met in the garage of a magician we knew back home in Newark.
Yeah.
And we were 16 and 17,
Mm-hmm.
and we decided that day that we would do a duo act together.
Yeah, so we'd already been doing our own thing for a while. We started, I think, kind of the typical way. You see a magician, you get a magic kit, and it kind of goes on from there. Then, yeah, like you said, we met and hit it off on that day. It was like in 2015, so we started performing together that day. We had a show the next week, and been doing it ever since together.
What's the hardest trick that you do?
What's the hardest trick we do?
That's a good question.
We do a trick in our like full length show where we have to like do a trick handcuffed together, and the handcuffs don't really play a magical role. It's more for comedy, but figuring out how to do 2-person sleight of hand with basically 3 hands is pretty difficult. So I'd say probably that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like walking with your partner, your legs
They also do a trick with a Twinkie that's pretty difficult to pull off too. So
That guy I'm thinking of had an affair with a blonde that played the harp.
yeah, I'm not sure who that is, unfortunately. I don't even know a harp player.
Do you consider Kavi in the list?
What's that?
Kavi, the new comedian Kavi, the African American boy who is muted just to acting like that.
I don't know who that is. No.
Okay.
Is it like on America's Got Talent or something, or?
He just shows
YouTube?
We make silly things very hard. He mutedly showed those things are so easy, we just make it hard. But completely muted, he doesn't make any sound.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
No, he is a New Yorker. Yeah.
I'll have to look into that. No,
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is, but I'll look into it.
HBY, Kavi.
Okay.
We noticed that you're very servicing in providing food for the homeless persons, working poor persons. Do you also perform for them in some way?
I haven't yet, but I would love to. Yeah, if they ever ask me, I would be
Like
more than happy
I'm
to do
thinking
something.
of a place like Faith Mission and North Grant.
Sure. So I've done a lot of street performing, and then there's a like a food pantry on Parsons. And
Yes.
so I've been around there before, but I've never done anything proper for like the Mid Ohio Food Collective or anything. We just collect donations at our show, and then we take it to them.
And then you take the what you have
And
collected
it's all
to give.
provided from the community because
Well, that's
they can bring it
beautiful.
throughout the month. We have a collection box, but then they can also bring it to the show when they come.
Would be a great way to lift their spirits too.
Yeah.
Those who are in
Oh
need.
yeah.
huh?
Everyone needs a little bit of laughter.
Yes. Yes.
$2 radio is at every Thursday
Yeah.
or
It's every last Thursday.
last Thursday? Do you have a business card or anything?
Not with me, but I can make sure you get my information.
Facebook?
Yep.
You got Facebook? Okay.
Let me grab.
Okay.
You just search for that. You'll be Sorry about that.
Where is $2 radio?
$2 radio is on Parsons across from the library. It's at the intersection of Parsons and Klein. It's a little bookstore, but they also have a kitchen and coffee shop inside as well.
Well, one last word from you, the three of you, about what humor does to the spirit. David, I can see it's on the tip of your tongue.
I don't.
It's a great question. I think it definitely makes if like you're in a like a situation you don't necessarily want to be in because it's stressful or whatever. Humor can definitely make that a lot easier, a lot more enjoyable. Can maybe it's like a comedy movie is easier to consume than like a drama. So I think like just in general, it's more lighthearted to live a life of laughter and trying to make other people laugh as well.
And you have done that wonderfully.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you for being with us.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for
It's
listening to me. I
wonderful.
really
So
appreciate that. Thank you.